A new Banksy appeared this morning on the side of the Royal Courts of Justice building in central London. It depicts a judge in traditional wig and gown whacking a protester on the ground with a gavel, and blood splatters the protester's placard. Now, it has to be said that Banksy hasn't exactly been welcomed by the court service. It has been covered up. In fact, The Guardian reported, according to one person there, that guards were trying to stop people taking photos of it. Maybe it's because we don't use gavels in British courts. It's a myth that we use gavels. It's people who watch American TV who assume we use gavels in British courts. Let's talk to James Peake, host of the Radio 4 podcast series, The Banksy Story, When Banksy Comes to Town. James, let's just start. How do we know this is a Banksy?
Well, we know it's a Banksy when he releases the images onto Instagram and his website. As soon as he does that, it's a sort of rubber stamp that says, yes, this was me, it's a Banksy. I mean, oftentimes there's a period of a few days where he doesn't immediately claim the work to build tension and questions over whether it's legitimate. But today he's not messing about. He's probably mindful that the piece wouldn't last very long, as he just said, and that the courts and the council would be quick off about getting rid of it.
Right, well, look, just talk me through this, because they have said it's a listed building. It is our responsibility to maintain the building in its sort of pristine order, traditional order. Has he often put these? Has he often put his work onto listed surfaces?
If memory serves, he put something on to Reading Jail, and yes, I mean, I don't think he really cares whether it's listed or not. He wants to put the thing in context. So the thing about Banksy, the thing that makes him particularly good at this, is it's always in context with the environment in which he puts it. So this message would still have made sense. It would have still been super clear if he'd done it on the side of a train. But to put it on the side of the Royal Courts of Justice, UK Justice's front garden, so to speak, is really bullish, and it amplifies the point of the art that the law is being used to silence free speech and to stop Britain's right to protest. And
so let's just talk about the politics of this. Do you imagine that the protests over Palestine action, prescription of the group, do you imagine that is in his mind? Because obviously that has been in the news. It's debated in the House today, and a lot of people have been saying Banksy is telling us what he thinks about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, Banksy's taken the cause of the Palestinian people to heart, and he's been calling out injustices in the Middle East for over 20 years now. Clearly, he stands with the Palestinian people, and he's very angry about everything, the awful things which are going on. But attached to that, another kind of cause of his is the erosions on civil liberties and people's freedom to protest about things they care about. In this case, over 1,600 people being arrested under the Terrorism Act for protesting against an unfolding genocide. So I think it's very clear that he's very cross about both those things, and it's really well done.
They can't, I don't think, cut it out of the wall, keep it and give it to someone else. I think they're just going to scrub it off, aren't they? They're going to remove it.
I wouldn't have thought this would be salvageable. Does that matter? Well, I don't know. I don't think it does, because I'm of the mind the actual art, as soon as he's taken the first photographs of the piece in context, with a barrister in wig walking past and all the kind of beautiful stonework showing, where this thing is, that becomes the art, I think, in a funny way.
So that's enough.
Around the world. It whizzes around the world.
That it's been preserved in that form. Look, James, thanks so much for that. And you can always hear more about Banksy with those episodes of The Banksy Story on BBC Sounds.